Are you guys ready for another historical battle? What is up, Kingsmen? Welcome back to another NTW3 video. Now this one is going to be, well, historical map, not historical cores for Wagram. This is one I played in a past stream. You can hear the artillery already roaring. Both sides force artillery from I'm playing the 9-point Russia, Austria, one of my favorite factions, already dueling against the French. As you can see them pushing up quite a bit of artillery. I am going to be joined by another 9-pointer. This one, the 9 Russia. And you, of course, have another 9-pointer Prussia. And then you have a 9-point HRE. Now we're going to go up against a French united force here. Looks like we have, as you can see, the HRE shifting cav way behind the lines. This is going to be super helpful in scouting, knowing where the enemy are going to be hitting. Now, disclaimer, the Prussian player, I'm pretty sure, was newer. So he brought a lot of troops, which as a newer player is a little tough. He brought a lot of landwehr and all, so we are going to have to support him. He's going to be a center here. I'm the left flank with Russia on the center. Now, I do have one of my favorite builds, and that is a force of 4 Austrian regiments, very good shooting, reload skill, all that stuff. Then, of course, about 6 line infantry of musketeers that have decent shooting, not the greatest, but they do have some good melee stats. Now, I think I'm going to try to go, if I remember correctly, I'm going to use my hussars to go for some skirmishers. At the same time, there to go for my guns, which I brought a 4-gun horse or 4-gun 6-pounder, which I don't know where I stopped that. Do get volleyed in the flank. That was a very, very sad mistake there.
Our men are running.
We even got a skirm getting some kicks here. Dropping them, but no, they try going for my guns, which is super crucial. I really want those guns so we can blast rate the French. I also have a Kazaki or 2. I lost my hussar. I have a Kazaki, a hussar, and then the cavalry guard. Super important, I feel, to my army. Yeah, super important. I can't stress that enough. If you keep the heavy cav alive and use them at the right moment, it will go so well. Now, Russia over here, they have a guard unit here. So we have a Russian guard sheltered behind the town. More units holding the streets here. As you can see, Russia trying to hold its LOC. The gunfire from the artillery and infantry is just obliterating some of these units. I was getting hit by artillery as well, which is why my infantry are falling back. I am starting to figure out where the defense is. Of course, I couldn't spawn way over here, that's LOC, but there's no point in that. We do have an HRE cavalry unit charging the general. Unfortunately, gets caught by infantry, but the artillery thing right here is mincemeat, and they just immediately die. Now, of course, he does lose his horse, but that was a 12-gun, or that's a 12-pounder that they took out of, so the French don't have as much firepower now. Prussia's still pushing up, can take this flank. We do look like we have a cav engagement between Gazaris and Hussars as the fight rages for the town. And both sides, unfortunately, for both players, die. But Russia still has their guns, which they're going to use to great effect. He has some grenadiers as well. Oh no! Oh, friendly fire. Dang, that guy got blown really, really far. That was crazy. Now, France is pushing up very aggressively. He's also pushing up here. I just sent in my Kazakis and broke 1 skirm, and the enemy did the rest for me. They ran over another skirm unit. And now they are going to press this attack and push forward here. And I have my guards who are going to form a square here. But they're going to try to press this attack. Thankfully, that square should help. I also requested that Prussia send over some cavalry because France was hovering on my right flank. Not looking too ideal here. You can see the French, though, really, really going in for this LOC. They're pressing the attack, and they sent in some Swiss grenadiers against some skirmishers. Probably should have set something a little bit more melee. A lot of people I see make this mistake. They put shooty units instead of melee units. Ooh, we do have... Man, this is what I mean by a newer player. He definitely finned this Dragoon unit. Oh my gosh, he definitely finned it. But newer player, didn't understand. I think we explained it to him and he didn't do it after that. Holy cow, Russia really does not like their own infantry. He keeps killing it. However, you do see that France has taken this LOC here, so this is going to make it a lot harder for Russia. And we also have a huge cav charge here. Look at all these Dragoons going to smack in. Prussia was not at all prepared for this. Yeah, looking bad. I do have a square that I sent over here to kind of maybe help out with this fight. France had so much cav ready to throw into this. Look at all of this. Cuirassiers as well, Carabineers. I was definitely manned when it came to the cav. Look at this brave square. They're standing their ground as heavy cav goes charging past. Prussia is losing more and more Dragoons. France running way back behind my lines. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Kill across the air, and you get a gold piece. Yeah, they definitely pushed up. I'm surprised they didn't try crashing my side. I'm shifting my cavalry guard up, though. Russia is in a bit of a pickle here. They got to make some movements here, and I do believe they are. I remember communicating and saying, I'm not going to do anything but try to hold as best as I can. You guys got to make the attack. And they have that very attack going. We have some Dragoons pressing forward. He has some Cuirassiers and Grenadiers, like I said, ready to press up, get this attack. Look at this Prussian line, though. Just stack on stack. They can stand their ground and do an excellent job here. We do have some cavalry. Probably going to be engaging here as this French cav pushes forward. Dragoons pushing up. This Grenadier can form square. And he does, which is going to pull Lancers into a square fight. Russia has a huge opportunity here with France caught up so close. Russia can stand here and just gun them down for a long time. HRE forming up in a line of battle against France. Now this French army, they got actually equivalent quality when it comes to the HRE in them. It's not the greatest. France is just rolling over the French here. What did I say? Russia's rolling over the French. That's what I meant to say. Grenadiers smacking into a square. I am in a line fight now. Trying to keep my squareables in the flank. France probably is going to focus me down pretty quickly here. Like I said, my cavalry guard hopefully can make some moves because, hey, France is starting to break in the center. But look at all the French infantry pushing forward. A lot of light infantry mixed in here. Ooh, that's not aging. That's not doing too well. This wheat field going to be a hotly contested, I think is what I should say. Russia, though, running down the enemy. More Dragoons, though, ready to throw themselves into this fight, but Russia has some Dragoons to meet them. Cuirassiers in this fight as well. This is turning into a massive cav fight. These Grenadiers, though, if you start a break, yep, the mass rout has begun, and France is now falling back. There is a reinforcing army, though, or at least reserves pushing forward. Now you can see France is using Cuirassiers to go in. I'm sending up my heavy cav. I do not have a square, so he's going to get a nice charge. I do have one reserve line. But while France, see what they're doing is they're charging the cav, and this is how you stop them from being close in the melee. They are pushing up. See, I'm shooting my guys in the back too to get rid of this Cuirassier. I am not going to let the French get into melee with me, so I send up my heavy cav to stop this French attack. So they can't close in for melee. I don't know what honestly, I don't know what Prussia was doing over here. Sending, I'm not sure. He just ran into death here. But things aren't looking too hot here, but we are starting to press this flank. I'm starting to push up with Russia winning so decisively here. We can start breaking the flank of France. He's going to push up. I do have a square, which he's going to have to get stopped by, but more and more French grenadiers and sappers, line of tree pressing forward. So France is pushing up with everything they have, and this is going to look very dire for me. It's not looking good. Now Prussia is going to try to go for these artillery pieces. I'm going to charge in my heavies. I'm trying to save my army, guys. At this point, France is about to just surround me. Now I'm going to send in Austrian line of tree. Is not ideal to bayonet charge here, but I'm trying to stop them from being able to shoot my cavalry guard. And this is a terrible place to be. Your cav can't really move too well. Got a square still going here. I'm starting to press this flank. Russia pushed up too much here. And France is just going with the bayonet here, and Prussia's gonna die. They're gonna mass route so fast. Over on this side, HRE still 1v1ing. They're not really doing a whole lot here. And now a blah. Okay. Like I said, Prussia learned a lot in this battle. He learned a lot about exploits and that sort of thing. Now I am in a bigger pickle than I was before. French cav in my back. I'm engaged. My cavalry guard is broken. My guard is engaged with grenadiers. I am starting to break a little bit of this corner here. My artillery actually started limbering it up. I am starting to break this flank, and Russia over here is breaking the French. This is cheap line infantry they have left. But Prussia is just getting totally thrown back. But yeah, there goes Prussia. They just immediately routed. So my army's routing, Russia's army's routing. Russia doing a good job. I'm helping him out as best I can. Also pressing this attack on the flank, as that's all we have left. My artillery is limbering up. I need to save this. These guns could still save our flank. At least that's my opinion. I have Prussian or Austrians in this hand-to-hand combat with France. That is all that's left. I have one brave square trying their best to hold this left flank, but my army has disappeared. It is disintegrated. Quite literally. I have 3 units left plus my artillery. My general's getting out of there. Thankfully, France over here is broken, so our center is not having any pressure exerted on it. Over here, Prussia, well, they just mass routed here. So it is up to the HRE to make some kind of win here. He's sending his cavalry in along with some grenadiers. And I will say he's doing a beautiful job of breaking the French. This was probably the best hitting of the French. Like, this French army being over here was perfect. HRE could wipe them without too much loss. Now, obviously, our right flank and our left flank over here have totally shattered. And being totally honest here, France, I thought France was going to be hot on the heels of whatever I had left. But they weren't. They actually start shifting over here because Russia is still just trying to destroy this French player, who's actually fallen back quite a bit. But now it's time to reconsolidate here with Prussia breaking. It's like Russia's actually had some Prussians in the fight, so they chose to stay with the Prussian army versus going out with the Russians. They're like, oh, our Prussians, we need to stick with our brothers. And I hate that there's such a mix-up here on both sides here. I have to bounce between 3 different separate fights. France is falling back, though. I mean, HRE, they've held beautifully, and at this point, it is 1 small or 2 victories versus 2 defeats. My defeat and Prussia's defeat. I will say, the France definitely knew, they knew what they were doing over here when they sent in infantry and cavalry. I was outplayed. It was just a matter of time. I do believe, though, that I did break a couple French troops and put some heavy casualties on them, which, that's something, you know? That is something. Now, oh, look at this. What we got going on here? Holy moly, that was a bim. Maybe not intentional. It's not gonna matter though. Russia needs to pull back. And I think that's what I was telling him. I was like, hey, they're going straight this angle to isolate you. You need to pull back along this road and get back with Prussia so we can consolidate here. My artillery, somehow, that's why F4s are my favorite. Nice and fast. But my F4s can help hold down this flank, guys. You'd be surprised at how well artillery can actually force back the enemy. HRE are victorious, so this battle is still dead even. It's still a deadlock on both sides, and France has an opportunity here to drive a very swift nail into Russia's coffin. If they can surround and cut off Russia from the remainder of this coalition force, they can still do a lot of damage, and we could really use this guard and musketeers. Honestly, we can use anything we got. He still has some cav left. I have 0 cav. Actually, no, I had 1 cav unit left. I have a hussar. We still have the guard decor, a C1, plus some C7s. And like I said, Prussia, a lot of his troops may have broken, but they are coming back. They're very tired, so hopefully he can just rest up his troops. France, I was really surprised. France did not try pressuring Prussia whatsoever. They did not make any swift attack at all. And keep in mind, there's still cavalry. I think there's still plenty of heavies from France. I know they lost some of their cuirassiers and carabineers. Trying to remember if, let me see if they were routed here. Nope. He still has them. That means here they are. Although massively depleted. Like I said, I inflicted what damage I could. I'm not saying it was amazing amounts of damage. It was enough, I think, to where I was obviously able to fall back. And the biggest victory is my artillery being able to withdraw here. And now France is advancing, but my artillery is already set up. They're limbering up, guys. This is perfect. Perfect shooting ground. These artillery crews are like, oh yeah, General, we got this side. Easy. And Russia has. So we have, what, 7, 8 guns all ranged on this side, plus the horse artillery, or the other guns here. Obviously, Prussia still had some artillery over here. I'm not sure where it was going. The only fight that seems to be really happening now is the HRE pressing this attack. France going to be trying to defend here, stopping a very victorious. They tried out shooting the HRE, and it did not work too well for them. We are still somehow holding the town. I am actually concerned they're going to go for my guns, so I'm putting up some infantry here to flank this French line. Already, though, starting to put the hurt on this French line. And forcing him back, which is huge, guys. Having a lot of artillery, being able to just set up. And I also requested Prussia to push up some units on the flank here just to stop them. And I was telling him to push them up to here, which this is kind of his good teaching point here. If you push them up past your guns just enough, I was going to keep some here and some here. They can't just march in between your infantry without getting just destroyed. So they have to go for the infantry first. And then your artillery gets free reign to keep shooting no matter what. Now France, is charging a musketeer. These poor Prussians. Russia's taken some heavy casualties so far this battle. France is still pressing on the Russians. Over here, still just a shooting fight. I think the rest of the French on this side pushed over against the HRE. And they may actually start winning this fight. Same time, the French are reinforced and are now pressing the attack of their own. Artillery, you can see, aiming down towards the French. The French obviously are shifted most of their forces over here, so Prussia can form up here. In fact, Prussia could form up right here and just wait. Don't have to do much. Our guns should keep back any flanking force over on this side. And you can see yet another... I think it's a guard artillery. This must be a really expensive 6-pounder. But they are formed up as well. So, oh man, Russia is getting just really focused down right now, and things not looking too good. They are going to be able to form square, but France is pushing up more and more reinforcements. These troops are flush from a victory against me, against Austria and Russia, and are going to be pushing up. Maybe trying to break the rest of this Russian, these poor guard. This guard is going to probably die. They have grenadiers on one side plus infantry on the other. Oh, they've made it through the square. This drummer's trying to protect the flags. But the artillery, you can see, is starting to flatten the enemy. And unfortunately, his infantry are not moving up. I think I told him this to this one right here. He does move him up, I guess, but this is too late. He just needs to keep standing there just so they can shoot at this point. More infantry pushing up on this side. Prussia had the majority of the lines. Man, this fight is just still. This is a slow fight, and both sides probably needed their armies. We needed HRE, and they needed this French army. But they both are serving a purpose of keeping the other one away from the other. If that makes sense. Garde du Corps charging in against the French line. This could really help if they can start getting some back charges against France. In the meantime, Russia is basically gone. It is the Prussian line with 1 or 2 units left. I'm in the town, keeping almost all my units in the town. But here we go, the Garde du Corps charging in against this French line. And this is a game changer here. And now, with France actually bayonet charging in on their own as well. But it's okay, France is breaking. This Garde du Corps is just wrecking the French line. And that is another big victory for us. Now, looks like Prussia should have set up along this river. That's the best probably position looking at it in hindsight. Setting up here. I'm setting my artillery over here, horse artillery, hoping they can push up. I still, like I said, have my line of shoot ready just in case. I'm actually even moving my artillery, I think, over because I knew that the French were pushing up in force here. We need more guns on this right side. I'll sell the horse. Shifting very close to our general. I mean, this is a nice target. I'm surprised France didn't charge in here, but oh man, Prussia's getting bayonet charged, and the multitasking was starting to get to him. Not an easy thing. Now I'm going to send my hussars over here and hope to maybe try to break some of this enemy. Maybe break this cavalry. The generals, this hussars nearby. We can stop this breaking on the flank. It's not probably going to work because more and more cav pouring forward here. HRE, though, have won. The rest of the French falling back on the side, but France is pushing forward. Oh, man, he adjusted. Oh, no. Yet another nice charge with Carabiniers. Oh, Prussia's dead. See, that's what I was saying. Enemy is still in now. Artillery, hopefully, could get some nice volleys. I'm going to push my infantry up and get a volley off on this cuirassiers. Artillery, hopefully, can blast away the cavalry. Can they fire in time? Oh, they got one shot off. Oh my gosh, that saved. That canister saved. Now, France is, of course, pushing here. Guys, things are not looking good for us whatsoever. France is pushing up the masses of troops here, the reinforcing armies, pushing forward. My general is here trying to inspire, stop, and mass rout Prussia, but Prussia is not even reacting on this side either. But the HRE are coming. The HRE are almost here. They can save our flank. At the same time, France is just bayonet charging the Prussian line. Now, some of the troops are pretty small and depleted, but it doesn't seem to really matter too much. Also, Prussia, can they fire? Fire. Oh. Those Carabiniers going against this juicy, I mean, this is a juicy target here. It's a lot of artillery. Now, I'm going to run my artillery piece away. Prussia is depleted, so our whole defensive left flank is gone. It's been liquidated. Somehow, we managed to push back the French. Or maybe they fell back because the HRE advanced. So our ally coming to our aid barely in time. am actually holding off a little bit of this flank, running my artillery crew away from the Carabiniers. And France, why did they? I'm not. Maybe they're resting him up, but I'm surprised they didn't try crashing against the rear of Prussia. They would have broken up so easily. Oh, this Garde Corps is getting wasted. Entirely wasted? Maybe not entirely, but they are going in once again. They are fresh, so they can still do a lot of damage here. In fact, he could have sent it in against this and broken them so quickly. This French army has been hit in the back by Cav so many times, they're probably getting tired of seeing Cav. But here we go, guys. The French are advancing. My horse artillery is getting ready to fire here. Ooh, they're gonna get a shot. Ooh, that was nice. That was a nice one. Hitting this massive grenadier unit. Still, guys, the French are in our back. I'm trying my best to defend this side, as after all, this is the French army that I have been fighting since the beginning. Quite honestly, I've been getting crushed. I got crushed for this army once. It is not happening a second time. Granted, I did get crushed, so it's not like, you know, I had a second chance. But with the few units I do have, not going to happen again. This Garde du Corps needs to be rested. It looks very nice and all. I love the black breastplate, but they need to rest up this Garde du Corps. HRA are advancing on the flank, which is going to take some much needed pressure off of this Prussian flank, but France is pushing forward here. My artillery is bravely, well, they're gonna run away now, actually. That's the nice thing about horse artillery. You can run it away and the enemy won't be able to get to it. And the beautiful thing was, guys, Prussia was good for something. They stopped, somehow, they stopped this French army. And my horse artillery was saved. I'm now gonna press up even more infantry here. Prussia, oh, they turned their back to the French. You can't turn your back to the French. This, what, how many crosshairs? It's not even 10. They are gonna crush the Prussian line. So even though HRE seem to be winning on this side, I'm trying to press inside. Oh, the artillery is still here as well. It's over. Prussia's dead. He does have guard, though. This guard actually could do an excellent job if they can break the enemy here. You know, strictly speaking, if they can just break the enemy here. HRE still engaged in another fight. He did send over half his army. The other half, though, is still engaged in the French in this vineyard. And he can stand in a line fight for a very long time still. Ooh, no. They're getting a nice volley off. Oh my gosh. That was a bit of a FIM. Well, not a bit. It was a FIM. Wow. Maybe not intentional. I'm not saying it in that way, though. You know, maybe it was intentional. Who knows? But it may not have been intentional. I am bayonet charging here, trying to go for the throat. These musketeers have a decent amount of morale or melee. Prussia as well. I mean, I'm trying my best. I'm pushing up. What is the last two line infantry I have? That's me a nice charge.
Our men are running.
But the Grenadiers are really helping. These Carabiniers really helping here. And my poor infantry are getting outnumbered. Now I am trying to get my infantry or my artillery back onto the guns here. As the HRE, they're not winning here, are they? They are. Nicely done. Yeah, a little bit of melee. And all that is left now is this HRE line versus the French line. They've managed to basically squash almost the entirety of this force. And my artillery is now running away. Who's generals? Ah, France is finally dead on this side. I still have my horse artillery, guys, and it is still doing what it can to focus down the French. I'm doing what I can, where I can, because it is all up to this HRE army, and if France does what I think they're doing right here, which is getting into melee, this could be very brutal here. All France has to do is bayonet charge right now. You catch this unit. And there it is. It would have been better for this HRE unit to turn around and keep shooting here. This unit could probably move back in time, but still, this is not looking like a win necessarily for us. I do have a unit that did come back here, but we need to start considering LOCs as there's 17 minutes left in the replay, or in the match, I should say. Not a lot of time to make considerations here. Ooh, Russia. Getting really blasted away here. Oh yeah, the French did have their artillery set up as well. So both sides now using artillery to advantage. I did get these artillery crew members back on the guns. France, unfortunately, wasn't paying attention and lost their one of the few squarables here, but I'm running my cavalry or my horse artillery away, my general away. If anything, I am going to distract as best as I can this Carabinieri unit so they can't crash the party of this HRE versus France force. Now, I do have artillery set up here. It's going to do what it can, but there is a hill that is going to make it a little more difficult for the artillery to actually get targets. The good news is this French army is very depleted. They don't have a lot of troops and they're very small units. The other part of the French army, though, still looks pretty strong for the most part and has grenadiers at their disposal and sappers. And they are sending carabiniers now. This may be the one good thing. He could have turned around and shot these carabiniers. They're probably very, very tired. And at this point, if he presses them to the attack and doesn't rest them up, they're gonna be donezo. Now, he was running his cab up to my horse artillery, but I was getting less and less concerned about it just because they're probably exhausted and my guys are fresh, and horse artillery actually is very quick. For H2 is very, very fast, actually. But yeah, no. Interesting how positions have changed now. The French hold this line, HRE pushing this side. One or two coalition forces left. Like I said, I still have some Austrians pushing up here, but here we go. France is going to charge through the lines. This is it for them. And the HRE hopefully are going to get a nice volley or two off, or not. But actually they will. Although HRE definitely, they can make it and then pay for that charge. At this point, guys, it is coming down to a very, very, very small battle. And my artillery is not going to hit. They have to get much closer in order to make this very effective.
killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
I think the artillery got this though. Unless the French have a plan up their sleeve, because right now France is trying to outshoot the HRE and not doing an amazing job of it. They have some good melee capable troops. The morale keeps wavering here. You can see, oh, actually a breaking here. Yeah, they need general support, and I don't know if he has his general still. My general, however, can push up. And how about HRE falling back against this concentrated fire from France? France is going to press that attack forward. Russia does have some troops here. They can start getting them in. I'm pushing up the horse artillery. I'm hoping to get some canister maybe at close range. This artillery honestly probably can't do a whole lot of help. And it's going to be up to the HRE still to win this. With help, of course. No one does anything alone. Thankfully, now we can turn our artillery to break yet another French unit. These poor guys probably are about to see the last of their battle here. They're getting punched. Holes are getting punched in their line. And that's enough to weaken the morale to where they will break. That should break them right there. How come they haven't broken yet? That is shocking. They have units nearby. They're getting hit by artillery. This defeats all the... There we go. Alright, so HRE have a nice flank. They're pushing up here, and you can see they're starting to shred up the French little by little. The French have plenty more troops on this side. They're going to keep pushing up here. Russia is actually doing their best to distract them with some musketeers. So France is having their own problems, and their morale is starting to weaken just on this side, but man. We have a skirmisher unit here in the back. I think the HRE have got this though, with barely any armies left. No one has an army left but the HRE and this French player. You talk about a war of attrition. It's strange because usually a nice bayonet charge would be what destroys them, but at this point, it's not going to be a bayonet charge, guys. It's going to be a slow and steady volley fire, constantly trying to beat them down. There's that stinking horse artillery. Let me tell you, it was a miracle that all of my guns were alive at the very end of this. It's the only thing besides my general in this one line of ships going for the French artillery. It's the only thing left. But here we go. France is going for the bayonet. Oh, beautiful volley. France probably cannot put that, and they're going to break. They probably should send one or two more to reinforce. But that's basically the battle, guys. Not LOC, really. I'm just going to fast forward to this point because, I mean, it's just going to... I hope... Probably... Should have fast forwarded sooner. But yeah, I'm just sending my general Alexander. He's gonna run down those skirts, but they broke, and that should be, besides this artillery piece, that should be the battle. The French played well, but I think in the end, I'm not honestly sure what caused them to lose. because they were winning back and forth. I think they got some heavy losses here, and when they pushed up, I think just the artillery and the fact that one of their allies lost big right here was just a game changer. Now, I can't remember if I have the kills on both sides for this. I can go double check. If not, well, at least you have my kills. Musketeers, 123 kills. My F4s, 101, you know, which just goes to show they were really good, and I'm glad I saved them. But I didn't get a lot of kills in this game. My cavalry guard only got 40 kills. They were not, they held the French down, but they didn't get a lot of kills, unfortunately. Even my general got 1 kill. But yeah, I definitely did not carry. I definitely lost my flank. I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2 French armies attacking me, but either way, definitely got focused down. Prussia got focused down, and thankfully Russia, and I was able to push out a little bit with Russia in the center, I think, doing a little bit. Okay, so I was useless. I was kidding. But anyway, guys, let me check and see if I have the results. All right, guys, so surprisingly, I was not streaming for this one, so I do not have the replay results, and I was unable to get them, so you just have to believe me that it was a close game and tons of kills and losses. No, I was kidding. It's very obvious, but yeah, guys, that will be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your day. As always, stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.